to the National Council of Supervisors of Mathematics, NCSM, Leadership in Mathematics podcast. NCSM is an organization supporting mathematics education leadership at the school, district, college, university, state, province, and national levels. Its membership constitutes an international force collaborating to achieve excellence in mathematics education. This podcast is a reading of position paper number 6, Improving Student Achievement in Mathematics by Addressing the Needs of English Language Learners, published in fall 2009. This paper offers clear insights and action steps necessary to support the needs of ELL students. This paper is the 6th in the series that provides information, research, and action steps to support our membership and education leaders in mathematics as they work to improve student achievement. You can download this paper in its entirety from the NCSM website. Click www.mathedleadership.org. Click Leadership Resources and look for the position papers. This paper is read by mathematics teacher Scott Oliver.
NCSM position paper. Improving Student Achievement in Mathematics by Addressing the Needs of English Language Learners. Quote, amplify and enrich rather than simplify the language of the classroom to give students more opportunities to learn the concepts involved. By Ida Walke, the Teacher Quality Initiative. Our position. It is the position of the National Council of Supervisors of Mathematics that in order to improve the mathematical achievement of English language learners, ELLs, educators must acknowledge that all ELLs can learn rigorous mathematics and that the current achievement gap can be closed when teachers, administrators, and policymakers realize that mathematics is neither value-free nor culture-free, but instead is a product of human activity. Thus, race, culture, class, and language play key roles in its teaching. Understand that language is not only a tool for communicating, but also a tool for thinking. Every mathematics teacher is a language teacher, particularly the academic language used to formulate and communicate mathematics learning, from Lager 2006. Realize that regular and active classroom participation in the form of discussing, explaining, writing, and presenting is crucial to all ELL success in mathematics, and ELLs can produce explanations, presentations, and engage in discussions as they are learning English. Recognize that ELLs, like English-speaking students, require consistent access to high cognitive demand tasks in mathematics. Learn to see the evidence of ELLs' mathematical thinking. Hear how ELLs use language to communicate about mathematics, understand the competence that ELLs bring, build on this competence, and provide access to opportunities for advancing their learning. Value the home language of each ELL student and find ways to promote its use whenever possible. Provide and participate in ongoing professional development to help mathematics teachers shape instructional practices to foster success of all ELLs in mathematics, including the development of language-rich classrooms for the benefit of all students. Establish district and school-wide structures that promote collaboration among teachers of mathematics, specialists in English as a second language, bilingual teachers, and language art teachers in order to meld skills and knowledge in the service of ELL's learning of mathematics. Research that supports our position. In the past 3 decades, the percent of U.S. children living in households where the native language is not English more than doubled from 9% to 19%, Firestone et al. 2006. The total number of students labeled as limited English proficiency is 9.6% of the student population, or 4.5 million students, Planty et al. 2008. Many of these children are taught mathematics and English, which assessment data suggest adds a considerable learning hurdle for them. On the 2007 NAEP 8th grade mathematics test, ELLs scored 37 points below non-ELLs, from Lee et al. 2007. In state-level testing, data are equally troubling. For example, in Massachusetts, while 40% of all 8th graders score at the proficient and above in the state mathematics assessment, only 13% of ELL 8th graders score at this level. from the Rennie Center for Education Research and Policy, 2007. ELLs who perform poorly are at a heightened risk of being inappropriately diagnosed as learning disabled, August et al. From 2005. Furthermore, because of current testing demands and annual yearly progress goals, many schools are tempted to address ELL needs by separating language work from mathematics work with short-term expedient coping strategies. Firestone et al., 2006, page 54. Often, this lack of integration of language and content development contributes to the lack of active engagement by ELLs in mathematics classrooms. Brennan, 1998. How teachers approach integrating language and content has an important bearing on whether ELLs are mathematically successful. Brenner, 1998, Cicada and De La Cruz, 1996, Thornburg and Karp, 1992. Further, confounding ELLs' access to learning and showing their competency may be the lack of basic opportunities to learn, since ethnic minority students have less exposure to content and their instruction tends to cover less content relative to non-minority students. From Hermit and Abedi, 2004, page 5, Massini, 2001, Gondera and Contreras in 2009. However, one of the strengths ELLs bring to school is their cultural capital. Teachers can use this capital to simulate the students' learning of mathematics, or teachers can ignore it and by doing so actively deplete their students' motivation to learn. From Averill, Anderson, Easton, Tamaro, Smith, and Hines in 2009, Tate, 1997. The literature underscores the importance of integrating content and academic language development in classroom instruction. August et al., 2005, Calderon, 2007, Garrison et al., 2006, and Snow in 2007. Sustained vocabulary work with ELLs is essential, particularly with academic vocabulary. Words referring to thinking and communicating, example, analysis, denying. Words common across subjects but with different meanings depending on subject, example, base, element. Words that have common meanings that differ from discipline-specific meanings, for example, prove, property. Beyond developing academic vocabulary, ELLs need to participate regularly, both orally and in writing, by explaining solution processes, describing conjectures, proving conclusions, and presenting arguments. From Moskovich, 1999, page 11. Thus, classroom participation by ELLs is essential. Linguists and cognitive specialists recognize that language enables students to bring order and meaning into their classroom experiences and should be practiced by second language students not only as a communicative tool, but also as a cognitive tool for interacting with the teacher, with one another, and with content knowledge itself. From Leister, 2007, page 22. Research underscores the importance of teachers providing regular opportunities for all students, but especially for ELLs, to engage in mathematical tasks of high cognitive demand, a recommendation emphasized in the Quasar Project, Hennington and Stein, 1997, Silver and Stein, 1996, and supported by cognitive science research, Bransford, Brown, and Cocking in 2000, and Siegler in 2003. Research supports the creation of learning environments that use multimodal mathematical communication, speaking, writing, diagramming, gesturing, etc., to reinforce the learning of mathematical representation, language, and the norms of mathematical communication. From Cheval and Christie, 2001, Goldenberg, 1991, Christie and Cheval, 2002, and Moskovich, 2002. Like other academic disciplines, mathematics has its own register, i.e., its own ways of employing language to construct knowledge. Features of the mathematics register include technical vocabulary, for example, hypotenuse, dense noun phrases, such as the volume of rectangular prism with sides 8, 10, 12 centimeters, example from Schlepper-Grill, 2007, page 143. Precision in definition, and particular norms for convincing arguments. All students, but especially ELLs, need guidance in their navigation with the mathematics register. For example, Often in the mathematics register, the same word may be used for a process and for a thing or a result. Reflection is one such example. It can refer to the process of reflecting or to the result of reflecting. An important conclusion from research is that all students, including ELLs, need access to teaching that promotes conceptual development. Hebert and Grouse, 2007, described this teaching as having two central features. One is that teachers and students attend explicitly to concepts, and the other is that students wrestle with important mathematics. How NCSM members can implement our position. NCSM members must act to create and sustain the conditions and structures that will enable all ELLs to fully participate in our classrooms and successfully learn mathematics. Moreover, NCSM members must act to alert mathematics teachers, coaches, and administrators that it is time to move away from incidental to systemic approaches and the use of language pedagogy in the mathematics classroom, and must collaborate with them to realize that change. More specifically, NCSM members must, 1. Acquire knowledge in the literature regarding ELL's learning of mathematics and in the local relevance of that literature, including explaining the literature to identify various ways in which opportunities for ELLs to learn mathematics can be improved, targeting the opportunity gap for ELLs and become knowledgeable of research-informed best practices to eradicate that gap. 2. Establish, participate in, and sustain professional learning communities of mathematics and ESL teachers, specialists, coaches, and administrators to work collaboratively to ensure all English language learners are successful in mathematics by ensuring that teachers have the skills and knowledge required to analyze students' mathematical productions, example, their written work, their presentations using words, gestures, diagrams, and the mathematical arguments they make with fellow students, to determine where mathematical thinking appears basically sound, and to determine where improvements in mathematical communication might improve the mathematical thinking. Teachers have opportunities to reflect on their own language use and production while doing mathematics, if they move beyond math vocabulary development strategies and help ELLs understand the complexities of the mathematical register. Teachers should have the lesson planning skills and techniques that support ELLs, including how to scaffold lessons appropriately and how to balance different corrective interventions so that ELLs and non-ELLs develop shared understanding during lessons. ESL specialists and teachers of mathematics meet regularly to analyze ELLs' participation and production in mathematics lessons and plan accordingly. 3. Advocate in the broader community for high expectations and the belief that an ELL's culture and first language are a resource, not a deficit, for learning in the mathematics classroom. Specifically, promote and participate in research studies aimed at eradicating the mathematics achievement gap for ELLs, and ensure that policies and programs are enacted to close the opportunity gap to ensure meaningful mathematics learning for English language learners.
Be sure to tune in to our next podcast episode as we resume our recordings of sessions presented at the NCSM annual meetings.